Okay, Survivor Series War Games 2024, Survivor Series 2020, I don't know what to call these things anymore. It's in the books now. Let's get to it. No kickoff show matches again. That being said, I forgot to put the rules to the War Game matches on the screen to help explain them out just a little bit more. So they'll be up on here for a few seconds and they'll go right back to talking about things, okay? Okay. So we started things off with the women's war game match between Bianca Belair, Bayley, Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, and Naomi against Nia Jax, Liv Morgan, Tiffany Stratton, Raquel Rodriguez, and Candice LeRae. Yeah, I had to keep reminding myself that Candice LeRae was in this. I don't watch a lot of the weekly shows, so yeah, a lot of Candice LeRae's actions outside of her tag team with Indy Hartwell until Indy Hartwell got released. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I knew a little bit of what was happening, but just not enough to keep fully aware of everything. Bayley is replacing Jade Cargill. They had a storyline involving Jade Cargill getting attacked and being out. There's conflicting reports as to whether or not Cargill is actually injured. I do think it's possible she is, and maybe they're just giving her a month to rest up in time for the Rumble, which is entirely possible. Okay, so I think that might be what's happening. That's just me postulating. I obviously have no inside sources on this thing. But yeah, Jade Cargill got replaced by Bayley, who then helped the team win the advantage on Monday Night Raw by tripping Nia Jax on the ropes and enabling, I think it was Bianca Belair, to pin Jax to gain the one-person advantage in War Games. And for her efforts, Bayley got rewarded by starting the match for the team. Nia Jax started open for her team. Also, when Tiffany Stratton was introduced, she did not have her Money in the Bank briefcase with her. So I guess it didn't look like at the time there was going to be a cash-in. We'll get to that. Early on, Bayley basically tried to use speed to avoid Nia's size. She got lured eventually into kind of like a Samoan drop type finisher on the little metal divider. Jax hit a hip attack. Well, not a finisher, but Bayley did counter a nice maneuver into a head scissors. Naomi came out next, and this is where the problem arises with the War Games matches. We have way too much stopping at the entrance to get weapons and throw them into the ring. So you pretty much eliminate what advantage you have, because it takes it takes 10 seconds, I'd say, to get to the from the cage outside to the ring. And then you're looking under the ring for weapons to throw in, and that's another 30 to 40 seconds, possibly even a full minute. And it's like you're losing your advantage when you do that. Naomi threw in a very colorful kendo stick and a toilet seat. Yeah, at one point they put the toilet seat on Nia, and Naomi gave Nia the stink face. Candice LeRae came out. Tiffany Stratton wanted to come out next, but Candice LeRae butted in front of her because they're sowing doubts between Nia. They're using Candice to sow doubts between Nia and Tiffany. LeRae, like I said, also threw some weapons in there. I think it was chairs, and she had a code breaker off of a chair onto Naomi's back, and she used Bayley for the code breaker part. Jax then broke up a 3D attempt that would have sent her falling into chairs. Bianca Belair came out. She threw some trash cans. Again, weapons. Tiffany Stratton was out next as Belair hit a reverse Alabama Slam, sending, I believe it was Candice LeRae, into the turnbuckle. And Stratton came out. More trash cans. Strax and Jax hit a slick shot blockbuster on Bayley. Bayley seemed to tweak her ankle at some point in the match. I think they were looking at her and trying to get her away from a lot of the action briefly. Io Sky came out next. She had a trash can under the ring that had a rope attached to it so she could tie it to her and carry it up the cage. obviously building to a moonsault spot. However, at the same time, Tiffany Stratton hit a big swanton dive. Raquel Rodriguez came out next. Rhea Ripley was out after that. Everyone ganged up on Jackson Rodriguez. Liv Morgan came out, teased like she wasn't going to enter the match. However, she just went to the back to grab a baseball bat to even the odds. Immediately, they're fighting. Ripley tried to go for a riptide, but she even went as far as to rip her protective mask off. She apparently, some point in the match, I know the storyline is she got attacked at NXT, but yeah, something else that I can't remember if she broke her nose or her cheekbone or something, and she had to wear the mask in the match. Yeah, but Ripley took her mask off, but Morgan attacked her. Everyone ganged up on Ripley, then Morgan attacked her with the baseball bat. Io Sky then hit missile drive kick on Jax. This is where Sky hit the moonsault with the trash can. I don't think it was off the top of the cage, but Tiffany Stratton did hit a swanton off the top of the cage, and then pulled out a trash can that happened to contain the Money in the Bank briefcase. She teased cashing it in on Nia or Liv, but she didn't know who. Raquel saw this, started yelling at Stratton, "Hey, you're going to blow this for us." That enabled, I believe it was Bailey, to get and it wasn't Naomi, it was one of the two, to get a fire extinguisher and spray it in the ring, and in the confusion, Raquel got handcuffed to the ring ropes, so she got stuck there. Morgan kicked a chair into Rodriguez to attack Bailey. She hit a Oblivion into the chair. However, Ripley then caught Liv and did a riptide off of the ropes through a table for the 3 count of the victory. Afterwards, Ripley and Io Sky celebrated a la Liv and Dominic with the leaping into the arms and the pretend makeout. Overall, like I said, very entertaining match. Again, I'm just getting tired of the weapons all the time. Like, I have seen every War Games match in WWE, and I've seen plenty of War Games matches from WCW, and it's like, can we just have one War Games match from where weapons are not being thrown into the ring? Like, you could maybe do some weapons eventually, but like when you had 3, 4, 5 competitors running down to the ring, grabbing, looking under the apron, trying to find various things, it gets really repetitive. It slows the match down. It's not interesting. Exactly. The novelty starts to wear off. Like, could we please just have like a straight match inside the cage? I know you're capable of doing that. Anyway, our next matchup was the United States Championship match between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. Right off the bat, Nakamura hit a jab to LA Knight's throat. Knight came back in a nice drop kick through the ropes, sending Nakamura into the ring barricade. Nakamura came back and caught Knight square in the nose, square in the lower jaw of the nose with a back elbow. It was a hard hit too. You could hear, poof. Knight countered a knee strike into a burning hammer. Knight tried to do like his big hop-up superplex maneuver, but he slipped on the top rope, which enabled Nakamura to come back, hit a big exploder superplex off the top rope. Knight hit a springboard elbow drop. They began fighting in between the rings on the middle divider. Knight tried to go for a suplex on there, however, Shinsuke got a thumb to the eye. He hit a death drop DDT on the divider, rolled Knight in the ring, and hit a Kinshasa for the 3 count of the victory. Shinsuke Nakamura is United States Champion for a 3rd time. Overall, fun match, I'd say. Good, quick match. They didn't bog it down because I think, the crowd's a little tired from the War Games match. They needed a breather. I think I'm okay with LA Knight losing. Again, he won the championship. I'm surprised Logan Paul never returned for his rematch. Then again, it could happen. Knight can win it back. Exactly. It's not like this needs to be a permanent thing on Nakamura, but I think he's an LA Knight as champion wasn't really elevating that championship very well. Sorry, it's just, again, I can't remember. He did like an open challenge thing, and that was about all I know he did. So yeah, again, we could have used. So maybe this helps spur a bit more interest back into it. I do think this can help liven things up. Again, it's nice to see Shinsuke Nakamura back and being utilized. So this can be an improvement here. Like I said, it wasn't a terrible match. It was definitely a breather match, but it also added a bit of change to the ceremony, to the show. Okay, our next match is the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship between Braun Breaker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. Right off the bat, Kaiser realized that both Sheamus and Breaker were looking to gang up on him, so he immediately rolled out of the ring. Breaker then hit an over belly-to-belly suplex on Sheamus. Kaiser then broke up Sheamus' comeback with a powerbomb. Sheamus attempted a powerbomb, and Kaiser broke it up with a chop block. Kaiser came back at a running dropkick into the steps, but then got clotheslined by Breaker. Breaker had a flying clothesline onto both men and sending them over the announce table. Both Kane and Breaker got caught by Sheamus in the 10 beats to the Bowery. Kaiser then grabbed Sheamus' shillelagh. Sheamus fought over it briefly, hit a Celtic cross, only for Breaker to break up the pin. Breaker then went for a spear, but wound up, Sheamus dodged, and Breaker hit a chair that had been mounted up in the corner. Sheamus, I believe, went for, I don't think it was a brogue kick, he went for some type of maneuver and went for the pin. Kaiser broke the pin by pulling the ref out of the ring. He attacked Sheamus with the shillelagh, injuring Sheamus' ribs. Sheamus did get the Celtic cross on Kaiser. But he couldn't get the cover because of his ribs being injured. And that enabled Breaker to spear both men, cover Sheamus for the 3 count of the victory. Very fun match. I don't think I could justice in that summary, but like I said, very fun. Very good storytelling in this. Again, we're constantly pitting Sheamus as the one belt he's never won is the Intercontinental Championship. And, he's fighting to get it, and it's just not quite coming together for him. If he could, I think maybe they should hold off and have him win at Mania. And, then he gets his big WrestleMania, his true WrestleMania moment, capturing the one belt he hasn't gotten. And then, maybe, I don't know, afterwards, he can ride off into the sunset. I don't think he's retiring or by any stretch of the imagination, but you kind of get the idea there. Overall, it's fine. Like I said, Breaker looked strong. He did everything right. Kaiser looked good and competitive throughout this, too, so he looked like he could be a contender for a while. I do have to wonder where, when things settle, if anyone else is going to pop into this picture. Is, Pete Dunne going to get back into this? Is Jey Uso going to get back into this? Is Ilya Dragunov going to get back into this when he comes back? We still have not gotten Ilya possibly joining Imperium, which was always hinted at happening. So, again, it just kind of it's just wondering where this is eventually going to lead to. Okay, our next match is the World Heavyweight Championship match between Walter and Damian Priest. I will not call him Gunter. Priest takes Walter down with a quick arm drag. Priest went for some type of shoulder block type maneuver and seemed to tweak his shoulder and injure it. Walter immediately started targeting it. He flipped him into the posts. He put him in arm bars. Priest eventually came back. He hit a jumping enziguri kick. He tried to go for the Razor's Edge on a couple of occasions. However, his shoulder just proved to be in too much pain. Eventually, he managed to hit the Razor's Edge. He got a South of Heaven choke slam. But wasn't quite. He couldn't get the leverage pin because he couldn't reach across Walter's body to get the proper leg. Both men began fighting on the top turnbuckle. I think what was supposed to happen is Walter was supposed to fall off. He was supposed to pull Priest's injured arm into the ring. They didn't quite seem to set it up right. So instead, it looks like Priest, for some reason, jumped into the middle of the ring ropes and tumbled to the outside of the ring. And as he was trying to recover, Finn Balor came out of the crowd, did a double stomp off of the ring steps onto Priest. That enabled Walter to put a sleeper on him where Priest passed out to win. However, it seemed that Walter himself was not pleased as he hit Balor with a boot and steered him down during this problem too. So it looks like we're probably headed for some type of triple threat there. This match could have been better. Their SummerSlam match was much better. I think we need to end this Finn Balor Damian Priest thing. Like, they've had the Hell in a Cell, haven't they? I know it's been a while since Bad Blood, so I can't remember every. But this is one of those, like, we've had this match now. Can we please move on? And, like, no more Judgment Day for, like, could someone, again, I guess if we do a triple threat, maybe that will help. But, again, or even a four-way, because I believe Seth Rollins is going to get involved in this, too, at some point, because, we'll get to that when we get there. But, yeah, this match was quite lacking. This was not the match of the night by any stretch of the imagination. Here are those War Games rules again. I wonder why they would suddenly be popping back up. Okay, so this leads us into our main event, the men's War Games match between Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. CM Punk's, I guess, part of the OG bloodline now, against the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa, the Gorillas of Destruction, Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa, Jacob Fatu, and Bronson Reed. Tama Tonga started for his team. Early on, during the entrances, CM Punk shoved Bronson Reed through his cage doors. Jey Uso started for his team as he entered through the crowd. The new bloodline has the advantage in this one, as Jacob Fatu beat Jey on SmackDown last night. Tama Tonga hit an alligator roll into a suplex maneuver. Jey hit a running hip attack in the corner just as Bronson Reed came out as the next man. Again, we had guys stopping to throw weapons in the ring. Trust me, we'll get there. Threw some chairs in the ring. He didn't really do much as Jey grabbed one of them and threw it back into Reed's face. Jimmy Uso was the next one out. He did not... this was a breath of fresh air that he just ran right to the ring and came to Jey's aid, deciding that his brother was more important than getting weapons out. Finally, someone did something right. Anyway, Jacob Fatu was the next one out. Tonga Loa, wanted to come out next, but Solo stopped him and sent out Jacob instead. And this was probably the best maneuver, as Fatu hit all sorts of maneuvers. He had a somersault kick, and then a springboard moonsault onto the Usos. And then, CM Punk wanted to be out next, but Reigns stopped him and sent out Sami Zayn instead. Punk was not pleased. Tonga Loa was the next one out. He added tables to the match. At this point, CM Punk, basically when the OG Bloodline's turn came up, Reigns started out, but Punk barged by him to get out first. And so, again, sowing tensions. Solo came out last. Fatu shrugged off. Punk got a toolbox out from under the ring, hit several guys with it, hit Jacob Fatu with a running bulldog onto the toolbox, which Fatu no-sold. And he hit Punk, I believe, with the Samoan drop. So, he learned not to mess with Jacob Fatu. As this happened, Solo Sikoa brought a chain to lock the door shut after he came out and promised to show Reigns a real tribal. Like I said, he slammed the cage door off of everyone's heads. He then locked the cage door as Reigns was about to come out, which is kind of stupid because the match can't be official until Roman Reigns is in there. So if you're looking to win this, you've pretty much defeated that point. Reigns was forced to climb the cage to enter into it. Everyone tried to climb up to stop him. He shoved them off. He had a big crossbody onto everyone. He got, he helped. He then moved over to the other side of the ring, began helping guys up. Did not help CM Punk get to his feet. Finally, Paul Heyman came down to chew them out and said, "Hey, if you guys don't get along, you're going to lose this. You don't want to lose." So that finally managed to get everyone revitalized. Zayn hit a top rope DDT on Bronson Reed. The Usos hit their splash on the Girls of Destruction. Reigns then inadvertently speared Punk as he was about to hit a go to sleep on, I believe it was Jacob Fatu. Reigns was trying to spear Solo. Solo dodged. He hit a Samoan spike on Reigns. Only got a 2 count. Jacob Fatu tried to do a moonsault onto CM Punk, but seemed to hurt his knee, and I think he legit hurt his knee. Again, much like Bailey, they pretty much kept the fighting away from Jacob until he got up to his feet, and he was limping the rest of the match. So yeah, he tweaked it. Reigns hit Fatu with a low blow. He then speared Solo, only got a 2 count on it. Reed went for a tsunami off the top of the cage as Reigns was laid down on a table. Like I said, Reed went for the tsunami, but Punk got up and pulled Roman off of the table just in time. The Usos hit the 1D on Fatu as that happened. The Usos hit Jimmy Uso hit a top rope splash off the cage through a table on Jacob Fatu. And then everyone cornered Solo and hit their finishers on them, got the 3 count in the victory. Reigns, everyone except Roman thanked CM Punk. Finally, Roman gave him a reluctant handshake. The cage door was open somehow. Everyone began exiting. Punk hugged Heyman and said, "Hey, the next time I need a favor, I'm going to ask it." And he left. Everyone helped Jimmy get out of the cage because he looked banged up too. They stopped. They were celebrating at the top of the ramp. Punk came back to join them. Everyone did the bloodline point to the acknowledgement of Roman Reigns, except for Punk, who did the go to sleep maneuver. And that's how it ended. Doesn't seem like anything else has happened so far. You never know with these things. The phone will probably go off at some point. Like I said, overall, fun War Games match. I liked it a little better than the women's one. Just, again, the stopping to throw weapons in. We don't need everyone to do it. I think that's what I'm trying to get at, where the problem is with the weapons. Everyone is stopping, like, the fact that Jimmy Uso just ran down to the ring. I think Jacob Fatu, he added the tables. But yeah, other than that, yeah. And I think Tonga Loa pretty much went right into the ring too. Like, can we just get a couple ones where people just go right into the ring? Yeah, exactly. Like, maybe the second to last individual tosses some weapons in. We don't need weapons in on every person. That's where it just got annoying. That's it. It gets annoying after that. And even then, could we have one where weapons just don't get involved? Like I said, I've watched plenty of the old WCW War Games. More often than not, weapons don't get involved in those things, and they're still enjoyable. They're still fun. Like, I think you could do that without having it fall apart. Yeah, without turning it into a hardcore match. Yeah, exactly. Like, if it happens on everyone, it's not special anymore. Okay, so that's kind of my main complaint about it. And again, I understand the crowd probably needs to decompress, so you can't have the middle of the card just be stacked with matches all the time. Again, it's Survivor Series. It would be nice if maybe we got at least one classic Survivor Series match in here too. Like, I know we're doing War Games now, and that's great, and I know people have been asking for that for a while, but it is kind of a shame it's also come a little bit at the cost of we don't have classic Survivor Series matches anymore. Again, like, maybe those could be the middle matches, And I know some people complain that, like, Cody Rhodes wasn't, or Seth Rollins wasn't involved in this. And it's like, yeah, I can understand that too, but at the same time, it's like, I don't want these things to be 5-hour-long extravaganzas, especially in November. You can do that for SummerSlam. Kids, more often than not, are not going to have school the next day. Families are more likely to travel during the summer. They're not going to travel during the winter. Yeah, they might already be traveling for Thanksgiving. They're not going to travel and then travel again. So yeah, it does make a tiny bit more sense to do it, I think, especially with Survivor Series. I don't know so much about the Rumble. We'll get into that later. But yeah, again, I think that was just the main drawback is this show better utilizes the 5-match pay-per-view, I think, that premium live event better than I think most of the other ones have. So I will say that. Like I said, I wish maybe we could have had a classic Survivor Series match in here. That's all I'm saying. But again, so overall, mostly enjoyable. I liked the undercard title matches. The World Heavyweight Championship match, not so much. But the others were strong enough. I do think that helped bolster this up. I am going to be giving Survivor Series 2024 an A. Yeah, like I said, it's one match that you thought was kind of dull. Yeah, exactly. I think you have to kind of at least give it an A. I mean, that's a 98% or whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I'd say that's probably the what. I'm sorry, I'm at a loss for words right now. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Okay, so I don't know if I'm gonna do. I had planned on doing Saturday night's main event, but the weekend it's being held, I think it's just gonna be really busy. Like, I'm gonna have to spend next week getting everything prepared to do the Harley Quinn, a random trade review episode. I'm also going to need to eventually get to reviewing Agatha All Along. I also have to do my football predictions videos as well. So it's, and of course, at some point I have to do Christmas shopping. So yeah, a lot to do. So I think Saturday Night Main Event and TNA Final Resolution, they might be like retro reviews or something. I might have to push them back a little bit and do them later. As much as I would love to be able to do them right away, I just don't really see that happening, unfortunately. I'm still planning on trying to do World's End, AEW World's End at the end of the month, so that could work. Again, that could help at least bolster things up a little bit. Obviously, Raw starts on Netflix in 2025. I don't have Netflix. I canceled it last year before I even got injured. I just didn't use it enough to warrant paying it. And even now, it's like, everything's shifting over to it. I know internationally now WWE Network is going away. All the PLEs internationally, at least. I believe the agreement with Peacock doesn't expire until 2026, and even then, it's like they might not archive. They're probably not going to archive like all the WCW stuff, any of the historical stuff anymore. In fact, I think if you've noticed, you've seen a lot of classic matches being uploaded to the WWE Vault channel on YouTube, and I think that's where you're going to start seeing things in the future, because we're not going to be getting those so much on if I believe the deal states that once the Peacock deal is up, all the PLEs are going to move over to Netflix. So yeah, I don't know if and again, I don't know if Netflix is going to start charging more for it or not. It's possible. I mean, that's what ESPN wanted to do. ESPN wanted to treat it like they treat UFC, where it's like, you pay for ESPN Plus, but you can't watch every UFC pay-per-view on ESPN Plus. Yeah, like, you're losing the value in that, unfortunately. So like I said, I don't know exactly what the future holds. Again, there's still TNA Plus. I guess I could stick to doing that, and if I clear that time away, I could definitely just buy the year-long AEW pack on Triller, maybe. I don't know how much that is, but that could probably at least open a little bit of the door. Who knows? Sorry for being a little too depressing here. Anyway, next video is going to be the NFL predictions for next week. Then we'll be doing the conference championship predictions in college, which those are starting to take shape now. At least all but 2, 3, 4 of them are pretty much set. As I am recording this, Texas is up like 20-some points on Texas A&M, so they're probably in the SEC championship game. All the other ones have been set. There's been some shenanigans that happened. We'll talk more about that. After that, it's going to be the random trade review on Harley Quinn Hot in the City, and then probably the Agatha All Along recap and review. See you all next time.
Hey guys, remember you can help me maintain and possibly even expand my professional wrestling covers by supporting me on Patreon at patreon.com/SleepyTime4Cat Productions. Also, remember to like the video, comment, share, subscribe, and ring that notification bell.